let's move on then to private prosecutions.
Yeah, absolutely. And this does follow neatly in that the sort of central question is what do police actually do these days? And I'll just go back one slide. Reported here by the Telegraph that there's been a first in a private prosecution for a case of burglary. Now, the specifics of the case are not especially noteworthy, perhaps, but this is being conducted by an organisation called TMI, shown here with their prolific crimes team. And they describe themselves as being at the forefront of carrying out criminal investigations, culminating in private criminal prosecutions for those who deal in illicit goods. So specifically sort of shoplifting and theft. But what they really highlight is that they will deal with these offences where the police or the CPS will not do so. Now, the CPS was formed in 1986 and essentially found that middle ground between police and the court. So it wasn't really that long ago. And what they have to say about private prosecutions is that they're conducted by people who are not acting on behalf of the police or another prosecuting authority. And the right to bring private prosecutions has certain limitations, and these are critical. Underneath the Prosecution of Offences Act 1985, the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, has power under Section 6 to take over private prosecutions. Now, when one considers what happened when Keir Starmer was DPP and Jimmy Savile was under investigation, that is worth considering. They go on to say that the fact that a private prosecution succeeds is not an indication that the case should have been prosecuted by the CPS. And indeed, there are instances where it is appropriate for the CPS to exercise the director's power either to continue the prosecution or to discontinue or stop it. Now, going back to sort of what police are doing, we're looking at the funding, and we see on the right-hand column, 2024, funding's gone up to 17.6 billion. But the government are declaring at the same time that they plan to save 38 million hours of police time, which sounds like a work of fiction. But nonetheless, in response to the policing productivity review, of course, what they're really doing is saying that they want to be using more technology. So they're talking about live facial recognition and drones that will be used as first responders. Now, my reaction to that, sort of having had first-hand experience of it, is that sounds like a complete waste of time, money, and effort. But they go on to talk about knife detection and artificial intelligence. So effectively, a complete over-reliance on technology, including automatic redaction and translation. Now, that there is a case for that. Redaction takes an incredibly long time, very, very inefficient process. But to use AI is probably not necessarily the only possibility there. And then they end with an amazing conditional by saying that if just 500,000 officer hours were saved, the review estimates that officers in England could attend an additional 250,000 incidents of domestic abuse or over 300,000 burglaries. Now, the point to consider here is what really are the police for? And over recent years, we've seen them enforce COVID restrictions when there was absolutely no operational requirement to do so, to give two-tier policing when it comes to protests against or in favour of Black Lives Matter, on trans issues, and a whole host of other things besides, particularly in the Israel-Palestine situation at the minute. So it very much looks like real sort of criminal prosecutions are looking towards being privatised. But of course, this is bearing in mind those specific limitations where the Director of Public Prosecutions is able to stop anything that is in effect not politically expedient.
Yeah, okay, thank you for that. Now,